And welcome back, pregame.tv. Ken Thompson, Dave Koken, fourth of four videos. This one will be the Seattle Seahawks at home against Denver. Hopefully it'll be much more competitive than the 43-8 thumping.
Why? What was wrong with that?
Well, it wasn't bad if you had the...
No, I loved it. It was probably the most enjoyable Super Bowl I've had in years.
There you go. Yeah.
Loved Seattle, really. And I normally don't like the Super Bowl that much, but at this one I did. And it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, for a guy that loves the Colts, I was pulling for Peyton just to see him get it done. I love Peyton Manning. He's one of my favorites. But Seattle, boy, what a dominant performance.
Well, yeah, they're pretty good. And the Seahawks ran into a little bit of a roadblock last week down at Qualcomm. And now we get to see what the world champions do off a loss. Are they going to suffer a bit of a hangover? Are they going to be easy prey? Well, not easy prey, but at least prey for the Denver Broncos, who want this football game? Or is it that type of matchup where Seattle just physically has too many issues for Denver to overcome, and they end up doing another number on them?
KC hanging in there at Denver actually had a chance to tie things up late.
If Andy Reid knew how to run I have no idea what Andy Reid was doing with the clock. Well, but this is an old problem with him.
Andy Reid.
You would think at some point you would hire a clock management guy when you screw it up as often as he has.
Dave, last year in the playoffs, because I'm a Colts fan, I mean, how do you blow a 4-touchdown lead and you're hiking the ball with 17 left on the play clock?
You got me.
Unbelievable.
Yep. That's not, and I think Andy Reid's a heck of a coach, but that's his one liability over the years has been clock management, and he had a problem with it again last week. Kansas City had a legitimate chance to win that football game at Denver.
Got to have the guy from Vegas there, the clock manager, the guy that's going to tell you what to do.
Hey, it's not that tough. It's not rocket science. What is rocket science is the Broncos coming up with something different to slow down the Seahawks, because there was just nothing at all fluky about what took place last year in the Super Bowl. They got killed in every aspect of the game. And, I know revenge is a real big deal, but sometimes it's not enough to overcome physical problems that one team presents when facing another. And I kind of think that might be the case here. Well,
here's the thing, though. You bring in a T.J. Ward, you bring in a Aqib Talib, and you bring in a DeMarcus Ware. So you've addressed the defensive side of the ball. If you're Denver, offensively, now they get some good news because of the drug testing adjustment. Yeah. Now you get Welker back. They have missed that guy in the slot to kind of find the seam. That's what Welker does best. You know that with his days in New England. I think Emmanuel Sanders is a nice pickup for losing Decker.
I think he's an upgrade from Decker, who I don't think is a great receiver, and I think was made to look decent by Peyton Manning, but I think he's actually more of a second-unit guy. We'll see how that goes with the Jets. But Sanders is a terrific player, and he's off to a great start with the Broncos. Does it get in the Broncos' head if they fall behind right away in this game?
I think it does. I mean, and again, I know it was just an exhibition game, but I think that game was psychological for the Denver fan base because they got thumped so bad in the Super Bowl.
But Seattle didn't care.
They didn't care.
At all. Now you got the Seahawks coming home off a loss. And they don't want to start 1-2. And here's the thing. I mean, I think you can make a case that there are some coaching staffs that might not be equipped to handle the situation. Oh, what do? We're not unbeaten anymore.
Right.
I'm not even sweating that with Pete Carroll. No. This guy's a great NFL coach, and I'd be shocked if he doesn't have his team ready to go on Sunday.
There you go. All right, well, this is going to be my free play. We'll finish things up right here as I make it official. And as much as I love Peyton Manning and I love the acquisitions that Denver got on defense, I can't go against the defending champs. Why? Because they're in Seattle. This team 15-1. Yeah, Arizona got them 17-10 in the next to last home game last year. Surprised them. They were outgained badly, but they found a way to win that game with Carson Palmer and company. But other than that, Seattle's won their other 15 home games over the last 2 seasons. They will take care of business. That 12th man is the best. There was a poll that came out, had Seattle fans rate it number 9. I was like, who did this poll? It's not a poll that I could even see being close to being true. I think the Denver fan base is great, but the Seattle fan base, to me, is the loudest, most obnoxious, and they are solid, and they do make a difference. And they traveled well to the Super Bowl, and they made a difference there as well. I look for Denver to, again, use the receivers, getting Welker back. That can help. Who knows how much action he gets. But like Dave said, Sanders definitely an upgrade. You've got Demaryius Thomas. You have Julius Thomas, who's a nightmare matchup at tight end for a lot of teams. Defensively, Marshall, Roby, Irving, Harris, these guys are good. Raheem Morris stepped up big time, has a couple interceptions early. Where was he in that play against Baltimore? Still wondering a couple of years ago. Meanwhile, for Seattle, Russell Wilson, no interceptions, couple touchdowns. Marshawn Lynch, he's been his usual beast mode self. And Percy Harvin, as long as this guy stays healthy, he is a key player on the offense for Seattle. Kearse, Baldwin, Turbin, these guys help out. Not a lot of marquee, dominant performers, but you've got enough when you have Russell Wilson back there taking care of business. I'm going to go with Seattle, 4.5, 5. I think they win by 7+. I have them between 7 and 10 winning this game. I think Denver will play it much closer and much better than they did, but they'll be okay, I think, coming out of there as long as they don't get blown out again. And there it is. I'm going to go with Seattle over Denver for my play pregame.tv.
Yeah, I think Seattle has to be given a mulligan of sorts for the San Diego game. Look, they were fired up for that first game against the Packers to open the season in the National Football League. They knew what was coming up in Week 3, the rematch with the Broncos, going on the road out of conference to face a very talented San Diego team. I'm not surprised they got beat. A lot of people, sharp people, were on the Chargers last week, so that wasn't a shock. Maybe you could be surprised by the way the Chargers beat them, but it still wasn't exactly a slaughter. So if that's the worst Seattle's going to be, and it could conceivably be just that, watch out with that team coming off a loss and going back home. And by the way, 9th best.
Unbelievable.
What?
Yeah. I'm telling you.
I mean, obviously Boston is ahead of them. But you know, ninth. Come on.
They had Denver. They had several others ahead of Seattle as well.
Yeah, well, they were at Jacksonville.
They were not in the
Oh, okay. All right. Then it's not that insane. Okay.
Exactly. I know you did real quick. You did mention Pete Carroll. His first tenure in the NFL, not great, but I think he got a lot of confidence that he gained at Southern Cal with
Yeah, you know what? And it wasn't that bad either. I think he's been, you know, unfairly maligned for his first job. He didn't exactly have a great football team there, and they weren't a disaster. I mean, it was not like the Jets were awful when Carroll was there. I think they've had some worse years since, in fact. Did a great job in college, and, you know, he's a perfect fit for Seattle. With their 9th-rated fan base. I mean, they love the guy. It's a mutual admiration society. And, just, you know, if they get beat this weekend, that's fine. We'll learn something if they do. But I think it's going to have to be proven to me first.
There you go. Okay, so 4 free play videos, couple college. Dave likes Clemson. I like Arkansas State. Dave comes back with Buffalo over San Diego in the NFL, and I've got Seattle over the Denver Broncos in the rematch of the Super Bowl. That'll do it for this week. We'll be back next Wednesday afternoon. We'll get some taped videos for you, college, NFL. We'll do it for you right here from the studios pregame, pregame.tv.
And more restaurants.